Hey everyone, it's Izzy again, back with our channel, The Things We Love. And this video is going to be about our boys' Halloween costumes for this year, 2022. This video is a little late. I meant to post it much sooner because we're almost close to Christmas now. But I recorded a lot of me making parts of the costume. So it was a goal of mine to share what I recorded. And that's what I'm doing here. So as far as costumes, I really enjoy making costumes. I often like look at the prices of costumes that the boys ask for and think, that costume kind of sucks. And it's way more expensive than it would be if I would just make it. Buy a few things, some fabric from, I love Joanne Fabrics, um, and making it myself, throwing it together. But of course, I don't make things that I feel like it would be equally as expensive and probably not as good if I made it. So anyway, some of the costumes that I've made them in the past. Um, for my son's, the very first costume that I ever made was for my son. He was 9 months old and he was Robin. His best buddy was um, Batman. So I made him Robin. And that one he was so small. So it's really easy to make things when they're that small. And then the next ones that I made was the Joker and the Penguin. And that's Jack Nicholson and Danny DeVito. Those were my inspirations for those costumes from the Batman movies. And then the next costumes I made them were Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees from classic 1980s horror films. And then the next ones I made them was the skeleton and the ender dragon from Minecraft, which my boys and I are a huge fan of Minecraft. I think it's such an awesome and well thought game, honestly. And they keep updating it like 2 times a year. It's crazy. Um, and then last year they were Pennywise and Chucky, also from classic, I think more of the 90s for Chucky and Pennywise from the 90s. And then this year, um, my son, my older son wanted to be the Demogorgon from Stranger Things, and my younger son wanted to be Will from Stranger Things. And we thought that was a good combination because um, Will got snatched up by the Demogorgon and taken to the Upside Down, held in the Upside Down, pretty much all of season 1. Spoiler alert, I guess. But yeah, that I recorded a lot of me making the Demogorgon's mask because my son had told me a couple months prior to Halloween that he wanted a functioning mask. And I was intimidated, honestly. I had no idea how to do it on my own. And that leads me to my next comment, which is I was racking my brain with figuring out how to make a functioning Demogorgon mask. And so I started searching on YouTube and I ended up finding a video by Gavin Creates. And the video, I think I read in the comments that he was 13 years old when he made that mask. And I thought, man, this is just genius. There were no electronical mechanics with it, because that was my first thought when I was thinking of it on my own was, man, am I gonna have to buy some type of like mechanics and put it together and things? I've really never done that before. But no, this was a fully functioning mask that didn't contain any electronics, and it was just honestly things that you could probably find around your house. So uh, Gavin Creates, if you're watching this, I just want you to know how appreciative I am of your video. I hope you don't mind me sharing, me making another version of your mask. You are a genius, dude. And I really hope that you continue making things because they're really awesome. So here is what I recorded for me making the Demogorgon mask. And at the end of those videos, there's going to be a couple pictures of because what I did was I actually painted the jumpsuit. I think it's called a bodysuit. That I painted it to look like a Demogorgon, um, and a couple other things. So I'll talk a little bit more about that in the outro. So, some of the things that I did not record, it was getting down to crunch time. And when I am pressed for time, and to be honest with you, sometimes I'm working throughout the day. I'll make it quickly on my 15-minute breaks or my lunch breaks, and I'll try and throw things together on that day. Monday this year was, I'm sure you remember, on a work day and a school day. And here where we live, we don't get Halloween off. I don't know if anybody else does, probably not, but we had to work that day. My boys were in school that day, so I was busy. I didn't have time to record a lot of it, but I did bring them here. We still have some of the pieces. So in one of the pictures, you probably saw the hands and the feet that I made. So here is one of the hands. Really, I mean, if you turn it over, I was so pressed for time that I didn't even get to uh, paint all of the hand. But, this is really the only part you saw anyway. And so really all I did was I drew on some fabric what looked like a Demogorgon hand. They have long, skinny, wonky looking fingers. So I cut out two pieces of those, sewed them together like you would, and stuffed them with some, honestly, like pillow stuffing. I saved a big pillow that we had that we no longer used, and I end up using it for certain things that come along. So that's really what this is. And as you can see here, I wanted I wanted him to have these hands, but I also wanted him to be able to use his own hands if he wanted to. So what I did with this was I just put some elastic. It's not focusing very well, but I put some elastic on either side, and he just put those on his hands, on his wrists, and they were kind of just hanging there. And then you see those in the video. I'll throw up a video of them at the end, the mask working and them playing out a scene. But that's one of the hands. The feet was the same thing. I You can see better in the back now. This is used, and it was rainy on Halloween, so this got pretty dirty, and a lot of the paint came out of the toes. But I did the same thing where I drew out a shape of a foot. I found it on one of the Demogorgon pictures that I drew inspiration from, and it looked like, this little uh, foot looking thing. And this kind of laid on the top of his foot and came out like this a little more. So it kind of looked like, and as you can see here, there's like, he has like, I think it's like a toenail. I don't know. It looked like a toenail to me. So I put little like toenails on here, and I sewed this to make it look like toes. Um, if you look up a picture of a Demogorgon, you might notice that they kind of look like they have toes. And on the back, same thing. This part went around his ankle, and this part like around his shoe, so he could use his own shoes and still walk around just fine with them. I think the other one I have is, I didn't bring it up here. I only brought one up here, but the other one I have actually broke throughout the night. But when you make the costume every year, usually something falls apart by the end of the night. Kids are crazy. So that's the foot, the hand, and the foot. And Will's costume was obviously really easy. I already had the flannel, the plaid flannel that you'll see. Um, and I might even show you a picture of the inspiration that I got for Will's costume, but it just consisted of a red vest with a tan top, um, a white shirt underneath, some type of flannel or plaid shirt, and the plaid shirt was rolled up, and the white shirt showed white long sleeve shirt showed underneath it, with some jeans, and it was really easy. On the day of Halloween, we kind of made him look sickly. Our oldest, she's really good with makeup, so she helped us kind of make him look more sickly. She kind of put a tint of green on him, and she actually made it look really, really good. We put some purple under his eyes and stuff, so he looked pretty sickly. If you can see in the picture, he's not actually sick, but I think even in the video and in the picture. But I did bring his vest, and I'll put in the description box all, because I did buy this vest off of Amazon. I did buy this tan. Now I'm not going to put the fabric on there because you could just find some fabric like that at your Joann's or wherever you get your fabric from. But I just bought a little bit of tan fabric. I bought this vest, and that was really all of Will's costume. This vest, I think, was like $22. So this was a pretty cheap costume and looked super realistic, I think. But for this vest, like I said, I was pressed for time. So if you look here, if you look pretty closely, I didn't sew it. I had planned to sew it, but since I was so pressed for time, I hot glued this. I just hurried up, and as I went, I I folded under and hot glued all around, and even you can even tell, like, I think at the tops that they don't really look the best. You see that? That doesn't really look the best. And since Will's costume, since his vest kind of came out like this was actually like a sew up one. I glued it and just made it look just like that. That was really all that I didn't show in the videos. And I thought, I'll just bring them up here. I still have them. I even still have all of the costumes that I've made over the years. Some of them have fallen apart, like the Minecraft costumes. They would I didn't put them up right away, so they would play with them and want to wear them, and they ended up falling apart. I threw those away, but I think I still have like the body parts of them. I definitely have Freddy Krueger's sweater and his hat and his finger mask. I made that from like anyway. If you have any questions for anything that you see in the videos, feel free to reach out. I would really love to share my ideas, to get some of your ideas, to converse. Really, I'm looking for a family in YouTube, a creative family. So feel free to reach out and share if you have any questions or if you have anything to share. But that's really all I had for their costumes this year. Thanks so much for watching. If you made it this far, uh, be sure to enjoy the things you love, and I hope you have a wonderful night. Thanks.